Unique homes designed and built during the Great Depression are opening their doors this weekend for tours. They're called the Greendale Originals, and Marge Hill is here from the Greendale Historical Society to tell us a little more history behind the homes and how you can visit. Marge, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
So, in the interest of full disclosure, I now live in Greendale, even though I grew up in Wauwatosa. So I know a little bit of history, enough to be dangerous. But these are homes that are 80-some years old now, but there are a lot of old homes. So tell us what's so special about the originals.
Well, this is our 80th anniversary. That's why we're having the tour. The houses were a unique experiment started by the federal government in the 1930s. President Roosevelt had his New Deal. He also had the worst depression our country had ever seen. They were anxious to try and start some programs to get people up and working, and also to offer middle-class families good housing outside of the crowded cities. So they thought these Greenbelt communities, we are the third one. The first one was outside Washington, D.C., called Greenbelt, and the second is outside Cincinnati, called Green Hills. So they thought by getting people 15, 20 miles away from the big city, close enough for the men to go to work, but also to give children green space, lots of area to play, parks, and some very unique little houses. They're built towards the front of the street. They're backwards, and the living room and the picture window look out at a large backyard.
And so, they're laid out interestingly inside as well. That's why it's so important that you want to get people in to see them. Tell us a little about that.
They were built with wonderful materials from 80 years ago. A lot of the roofs are still original 80 years later. The buildings are called Syncrete, and they were insulated. Some of the people had never been in an insulated house. So they have some unique features. There's big beams in the living room ceilings, and most of them are all still intact. They had a coal chute coming in. That's how the houses were heated. Mrs. Roosevelt came to visit in 1938 on a mission for her husband. He wasn't able to travel. She was his legs, and she came out to Greendale. She thought Greendale was a wonderful, charming community, but she said, who put the coal chute right next to the washing machine?
I remember that story. Yes.
Right. So she said, you need to have a woman on your planning board from now on. But she thought it was a wonderful community. It was popular, not without controversy. There were newspapers in Chicago claiming that there was a communist complex being built up in Wisconsin.
Right, yes.
Right. Because the stores were on a co-op nature at first. But over the years, after 13 years, the government was tired of being a landlord, and they allowed the people that lived in the houses to purchase them then in 1949.
Well, if they want the rest of the story, Marge, they're going to have to come and see you on Saturday.
Absolutely.
Okay?
We'd love to have everybody.
Thank you for sharing that. And for more information, including a link to buy advance tickets for the tours coming up this weekend, you can check out the links section of our website. Come see us in Greendale. It's up at tmj4.com.